Good evening. How's your day been today? Well, mine has been rather eventful, and I went straight from working to an appointment for a kiddo, and then more working. And I still have work yet to do, but Spirit Source has been pressing on me all day to do my message for today, which I heard was for the year's message starting for 2021. I thought I was supposed to do one for New Year's Eve, and then as New Year's Eve arose, it was not divine timing, and I heard 21st, thinking that was Palindrome Day, when actually 1/20/2021 is Palindrome Day. And when I think of Palindrome Day, what I always think about is this song. I do not own the rights to, but I really have had it stuck in my head all day, so I want to share it with you.
Nobody does football like FanDuel Sportsbook. The conference
Nobody
championship
does
is here.
commercials like free YouTube.
Someday mother will die and I'll get the money. Mom leans down and says my sentiments exactly. You son of a bitch, I palindrome, I palindrome, I palindrome, I palindrome, and I am a snakehead eating the head on the opposite side. I palindrome, I palindrome,
So that's enough of that, but that's from the They Might Be Giants album, Apollo 18. My mother actually did cross over in November, but she had an out-of-body experience and came back by her choosing. That was interesting to have Source explain it to me so I could explain it to the kids while she was still sleeping in this realm. She's doing better now, but her life got flipped upside down. So let's see what 2021 has in store for all of us. I know a lot of people may not have seen my message from last year. I think I actually only posted it on the Facebook page. I'll have to share it here as well. However, I actually did prophesize a lot of what happened, only it was a very candy version of what we actually experienced. In my life, I tend to think of things as lessons and room for growth when I have a lot to overcome. And while I can say this year I have been blessed in numerous ways, and ways in which I was finally able to share with others other than my children, this year was really heavy, and we all had a lot to process and deal with, and a lot of people awakening and dealing with shadow selves and learning what that even is, or folks getting on the integration train. It's like so much darkness was brought to light and had been in the process of being to this moment exactly where we are. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and pull card by card what I feel led to do. I don't really have a game plan besides I heard to light one candle, which is over here. And I already cleansed my area And I'm aware not everyone was as fortunate as my mother to make it back from the other side this past year. So, upon lighting this candle, I'd like to have a moment for everyone that lost loved ones, and for those that had to cross over in a very scary and lonely way. And on to the next line. I love that. The old typewriter sound notification. Note to self, turn the sound off already. Okay, so I did not here to prepare anything specific, just to kind of go with the flow. I have multiple decks out. I'll just be led as I go. And my little chakra box. The universe cards. Yay! See what's going on in the universe. Okay, quick shuffle. The oversized cards are always fun to shuffle. First card of today is the Four of Forces, the weak force or evolution. So that kind of falls to where I feel that we are at this time. We're in a evolutionary process that actually has been underway for quite some time. We have just hit probably the highest culminating version of that process here with a lot of the events of this past year. So that's the energy that we're still holding on at this time. Okay, apparently we're just going to do quite the mix. Oh, that's what it was. I heard earlier be 1, 2, 2, 1. Just like 1, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 1. Wait, maybe I missed a 2. I'll write them down. So that's our 1. For the next 2, I will do the Frequency Tarot. Quick little shuffle. Well, I started this reading prior to midnight on 1/20/2021. Will probably be over on 1/21/2021. So both dates are right. Ascension. Yeah. So we have first evolution, and then ascension. That's wonderful. It's like the energy is like the palindrome. It's the evolution going into the ascension. This ascension process is, for all intents and purposes, the evolution itself. Oh, and the number on that card was 5, by the way. So we have a 4 and a 5, which means we're on the right track with the ascending numbers. The next card for this 2, Kindred Soul, with the 31. It's beautiful. Also looks very yin-yang. Very balancing of energies. Got the dog barking. Some cool colors. Let that neighbor dog be out there. This is real life, like the great Tabitha Brown says. So we have some warm colors, some cool colors. The opposing hearts. It looks like a rose. It's a very warming frequency. So that's our 2 from the Frequency Tarot deck. Now, what is the middle 2? Well, this is sometimes why we don't have a plan, because we're supposed to see it as we go. So we're going to do the Ascended Masters deck. I love this one. It's got so many great Ascended Masters. Quick shuffle. Even if it's just like a reference guide, it's amazing. The energy. I love it. It's like shiny. Fertility. Pan. Pan is a very interesting fae being. Fertile land. So what we've got is the 4 sources of the 4 forces, the weak force, the evolution, then the ascension, the kindred soul, fertility. That is not necessarily always about birth, but fertile ground, growth. I love this one, Saint Germain. Her magic. MJ. She's trying to work her magic on the neighbor dog that's 2 walls away. Work your magic. Well, that's got the Metatron's cube inside Star of David. This is really what Spirit has been telling me, is there's still a lot of work I have left to do. I just not making excuses, but I have been in grad school and homeschooling children and working full time. So there's that. Most of my extra time goes to sleep. Okay, so we have our 1, our 2 for the 20, the 2 for the 20, now the 21. 2 blind spot cards, which what I love about these by Teal Swan is it's almost like the yin and the yang of her decks, the Frequency Tarot and then the Blind Spot Oracle. Basically, the things you don't necessarily want to see, so they're in your blind spot. For me, it's like not having enough peripheral vision. I'm pretty sure in the January reading for last year, I did frequency and blind spot as well. It did not disappoint, so let's see. Now these are amazing. Like, she does all the artwork for her stuff too. So, like, the first cards we had were Ascension, and then Kindred Soul, and now 52, which they're 78, so I do not have Realize, and J. So these are sigils that Teal has channeled, and then the other ones are her frequency paintings that she has channeled, which also holds sigil frequency from my experience. And this one is called Blinding Pessimism. So there must be a lot of people lingering with the thoughts of, we still have a long way to go, which we do, for as far as that evolution and ascension process. But one thing is, this kind of looks like a fish man or something, fish person with the eyes and the arms. So maybe it looks like stunned, even. Well, we're about to have the full message here in a minute, so we'll see what time to combine. This one, I love the curly ones. 48. Let's see what 48 is. Scarcity. Interesting. So, okay. We got the 1, 2, 20, 20, and one more. What do we want our final one to be? Feeling pretty angelic. Let's do the Angels of Atlantis. It's one of my favorite decks. Started with the Universe card. And guarantee an angel energy. Sendophon planetary cycles, which we did have some very cool cycles that came to an end throughout different parts of 22, like the Great Conjunction, which was very interesting to see how many people were aware of that happening. I mean, if you're stuck at home, it makes sense that you're going to look up at the stars and see what you can do that's fun from home. Even see the North Star that hadn't appeared visibly for 397 years or something it was. But that conjunction with Saturn, Jupiter, I remember noticing people talking about getting your superpowers. Well, guess what? Your superpowers are inside you, and they lay dormant until you have evolved to then ascend as your kindred soul, fertile to learn how to use them to work your magic, overcoming your own planetary cycles in a way that you'll be able to really bring the heavens to the earth, which is what we're all here to do in our own way on our journeys. Now, in case you've never seen any of my videos or visited my website or anything on social media, just so you know, I didn't start off doing cards. I actually was always a seer when I was young, was ridiculed and bullied for that. Kind of tucked it away into a box until I had what I call my conscious spiritual awakening. And that was basically November 2009, when it was kind of hard to find things to use for meditation or your own spiritual evolution, if you will. Now we got apps for that stuff, so I'm just so grateful that while this mass awakening happened due to the events and awareness for those that it did for 2020, that there was resources that were readily available. I had to seek them out. I mean, we were going library by library and bookstore after bookstore, and some of those books are obscure and hard to find, even when you know there's bookstores that have them. Gonna do a little more Palo Santo clearing. Thank you, Spirit Source, for bringing the wisdom and words that you want to be shared. really, when I look at this spread of cards, it really looks more like a recap. So I guess it falls back under that we still have a lot to do. I know I personally have a lot on my plate in store this year, and I can feel there's a lot of change happening that's going along with that evolution and ascension. I feel like people are getting more in tune with their kindred souls, self-care, self-love, other soul contracts maybe as well, of course, as usual. Fertility, I feel that is really more about room for new growth, fertile ground. Can mean a lot of things, more sustainable. Keeping the blinding pessimism at bay, but being aware of it. Knowing that there's no reason to be worried for scarcity. Like, the world is abundant, and none of us can take anything with us. Who would want to anyway? Don't have arms in spirit form. And the planetary cycles, the thing about that is they're always spinning, like circle of life. I like how for the first ever video I have with a ring light, all these rings for beginning and end, because there really is no, and it's all ongoing. All the circles, the cycles. The goal here from this spread is really just about us being our own fertile ground, us working our own divine evolution and ascension processes while we're here, and connecting with that kindred spirit part of ourself, and kind of laying the fertile groundwork for what we need to be doing to work our magic, while not really worrying or stressing about there not being enough or things not working out, because the cycles will continue. But it's what path are you going to create along the way? The world will spin and rotate around the sun. What will you be doing as the cycles shift? Thank you. Love you. Bless you. And ever radiant and prosperous abundance. See you next time.